Welcome to Chris for Get Going Guides. This podcast will be looking at using Freeway and setting up the instructions to upload to your server without having to go via any external FTP software. So everything's built into Freeway and it will generate all the code that you want as you go through. The last episode we made a new page. Here I've got a page of a website that we're going to make during these tutorials, so we're going to be having a look at how we do this at a later date, but we want to set up all your document info here. So what we do is we go to the file menu and we can go down to document setup, and up will come this window, and here we can see the information that we put into Freeway when we made a new file earlier on. So we've got a custom page at 750 by 600 on here, but we could change it to other sizes from there like we did before. We've got the site folder selected. We could again change that and browse around and choose another one if we wanted to select another site folder. And we've got the pasteboard width, which is about how much space we want around our document, just to work on to scratch documents on and off. And how many colours do we want to show our graphics in? I just keep it on thousands. It's a bit more representative of what things will look like on the web. Then we've got our output. Here we've got the information that we've set up about what kind of HTML do we want to work with, so we can change that if we want to. We can make code more readable or more efficient. I think more readable if I need to get into the code and start editing it manually later on. I prefer it more readable. We're looking at using a Unix system. We've got separate resource folders. We've got file names under Unix. We're going to keep this compatible with Internet Explorer 6 and Internet Explorer 7. So we want to keep that open because Internet Explorer does have some problems reading HTML files, and it has lots of codes that only Internet Explorer can understand. So a lot of people have trouble with Internet Explorer, but this will make sure it's all compatible with it, so it will work as well. So email hiding, so it tells you what to do with emails if you're making a email forms, and what the maximum file lengths of your file names could be. So if your server for some reason is restricted to 16 characters, you can just change the number of characters there. Then we've got our upload information. So this is where you need to get the information from your service provider and set up it. So you send it to your main domain, then you set the directory. So I've got lots of folders within my cloud-based system. So I have a public HTML folder, and then inside that I've made a folder called Freeway Tutorial. Then I've got my username and my password, and I've actually set up a subdomain for this if you want to go to it, and you can download all the Freeway documents and all the files in a zip file from there and from chrislinford.co.uk as well. And this is freewaytutorial.chrislinford.co.uk, which makes life a bit easier. Then you've got an FTP mode. Again, you might just want to turn this on and off. Choose passive or non-passive. Different servers require a different way of sending data. If you find non-passive not working for you, your data isn't arriving at your server or something's going wrong, then turn it to passive and see what happens then. And if not, you might need to get in touch with your service provider to see what's happening with them. So that's all the information that you need to get from your service provider. Then we've got our text. What kind of text are we using? What is your standard font? And the size that it's going to be. So when I start typing in text, what's it going to be? I can change that to whatever I want at a later date. So if I want to change it to Arial, I can just go down to Arial, and I want it to be regular, and I want it to be 12 point, and I can just change that so that every time I type now, up will come Arial, regular, 12. And then graphics. What do we want to happen to graphics? So if we've told Freeway generates the graphics, you can import pretty much any file format into it, but then what do you want to do it? So if you're going to choose a GIF, you've got different ways that you can handle the colors. So if you go to my website and down to the download section, there's some tutorials there, or big papers on different types of GIF formats that you can work with. We'll be looking at them later on. So we can have Mac or 2.16, which works on everything, or Adaptive, which is a flexible thing. Then you can have, do you want a PNG file? It's pretty much the same as a GIF file in many ways, but does allow a bit more colors. And if I'm using a JPEG, what kind of quality would I want the standard file to be in? I can change these as I work through. Then if I want it to be, my site to be hit by an iPhone, what do I want to do? And I would generally keep this on automatic, so it will change depending on the screen size, just in case it's there, and the height of it depending on there. So I'd keep those on automatic, and then the page can be scaled up to a maximum 160% from there. And it detects when the telephone number comes in, it will transfer straight to an iPhone. So that's really how you control all your document, and then be able to set it up to go to the web server. And then all you then need to do, if you want to upload it, you just go down to the upload section, click upload. Up will come all your FTP information that you've got here, and you give it a check, and then click upload. And then what will happen is Freeway will start building your site. It will write all the HTML code, and then it will check on your server, and then it will start sending all the files to your server nice and quickly, depending on how far fast your connection is working. First of all, it will compare the files to see what you've already got on your server, and then only change the files that need to be changed on it at that time. So really that's all you need to do to upload your file. You can then go to your website into your browser and type in your website, and then start loading it from there. So this is chrislinford.co.uk. We've set up all the transfer settings for your website. Next tutorials are going to be how to actually add content to your site, so starting with a blank file. You can see me at www.chrislinford.co.uk. You can find me on iTunes and on YouTube.